Welcome to another great edition of Table Talk. I'm your host, Karen Wilson, and today I have a wonderful show for you. Our first guest is Mr. Marvin Bullock from the Sparta, White County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the show, Marvin.
Well, thank you.
We've been trying to get together for quite some time to talk about all the great things going on in your area there. Just tell us, I guess, with it being the spring season, some of the things we can look forward to.
Well, we've got a lot of new things since I was here, I guess, 3 years ago. One, we've got over 8 miles of equestrian trails now open that has gone in an area called Dog Cove. It's owned by the state. There are now 34 miles of equestrian trails available in the Bridgestone area, which is available 9 months out of the year. They don't allow the horseback riders in that area during hunting season. Okay. So that's something else for people to come and see. Mm-hmm. With the last Bridgestone gift, Bridgestone Corporation gave the remaining 5,763 acres to the Nature Conservancy, but it's in the deed that the Nature Conservancy is to work with the Department of Parks to put in trails across that as well. Well, that's going to enable us to connect Lost Creek, Virgin Falls, and Dog Cove all together. And that'll make the parcel up there over 7,000 acres total, and there'll be miles and miles of trails for multiple uses going on in that area. So recreation-wise, the area is growing immensely.
Definitely, I can. And when you refer to this area there, I'm not quite as familiar with the White County layout there. Is this on a lot of it on the Cookeville side, or
that's a good question.
Where would you go to kind of go to the area?
This entirely surrounds the Virgin Falls area, which has been there for decades, operated as a wilderness area. And so that would be in the southeast side of the county. Mm-hmm. Bledsoe County would be an adjoining county, Van Buren County, so forth and so on.
Okay, and that's fascinating. I didn't realize that the state did equestrian trails. So basically, during certain times, as long as it's not hunting season, people are free to they would bring their horses in, I guess, or is there a group that they go?
Okay, now this is two different areas. The state area that's called Dog Cove is open 365 days a year, and it's open for equestrian use. Now hikers can hike there as well. Mm-hmm. It goes up Lost Creek, the feature Lost Creek, which they call Lost Creek because it just sort of disappears into the ground out there, and the water runs under the mountain, comes out over Virgin Falls, and so this is the headwaters for Virgin Falls. So it was critical that they get that piece to protect it, to make sure nothing happened to that water that comes out over Virgin Falls, which is a nationally known waterfall hiking trail.
Mm-hmm. It sounds beautiful. I haven't got to make a trip there, but I've heard it's just a beautiful place.
And the second area is in the Bridgestone Wilderness area. Mm-hmm. They have now decided that people can pay a $75 per year impact fee, and they have access then to those 34 miles of trails that are in the Bridgestone area 9 months out of the year.
Oh, wow. That's a small price to pay for.
34
and plus you're
miles.
making a contribution to the upkeep of the area and the
Exactly.
trails and that type of thing.
Exactly.
Well, I know the Chamber has had a lot of exciting things going on itself. Annual meeting, I guess, that came up recently, or
Yes.
is this your first annual meeting you
This
had?
was our first official annual meeting. It was pretty much a sellout. We had wonderful entertainment. We had a group that imitate the Andrews sisters, and they sounded just like them. It was a good time. Everybody, the biggest problem with that event is it's going to be hard to top it next year.
Good, good. Well, we'll look forward to that. I know that's probably going to be a big fundraiser for you all. And tell us some of the things that you do with some of the funds that are raised or contributed, the purpose, I guess, of the Chamber.
You know, and that's a really good question. A lot of people wonder, what does the Chamber do? I think it'd be a lot easier to produce a list of things that chambers don't do. It's, you know, I've had calls from everything, people looking for industrial property that panned out that they wind up buying the industrial property, which of course creates jobs. We've also had somebody walk in one Friday afternoon at 4:30 and her child and grandchild were being abused by her son-in-law. And when my reaction was, well, perhaps we should call the sheriff's office, they were afraid to call the sheriff's office. I texted around for a little while, and within an hour or so we had some phone numbers for her to call, and I'm happy to say that's been over 2 years ago and that child is still out of that situation. Goodness, my assistant one day, somebody called frantically that their commode was overflowing. Now the last place on earth I would think about calling is a Chamber of Commerce. But on the other hand, Jenny calmly said, well, first off, turn the little valve down at the bottom to cut the water supply off. And then, of course, we have members who are plumbers, and so she looked up some people for the person to call to get the problem resolved. So we get all kinds of calls. And a lot of the calls we get are for tourism-oriented things. You know, Dubai doesn't have enough money to replace what God put up there millions of years ago. And as a result, we have lots of tourists coming to Sparta and White County to see Virgin Falls and Lost Creek and Dog Cove and this new Nature Conservancy piece that was gifted by Bridgestone. And
wow, that sounds like a great
so we
way
handle
to
those
spend.
tourists as well. Yep.
And she might have been thinking chamber. There used to be references to chambers as far as commodes and things like that go.
True.
So maybe that was the correlation between the two. But, you know, glad y'all are there to help out in any way you need. But primarily.
So that money that comes in helps fund everything from creating new jobs to solving social issues like abuse and producing some of these wonderful things that we get to put out, like maps on the area and how to get to Virgin Falls and Lost Creek and Dog Cove and Rock Island. And we produce the 30,000 rack cards that goes to every welcome center in the state of Tennessee. It's a very popular rack card because there's a lot of waterfalls on there. And the welcome centers frequently call us to ask them or ask for us to replenish that supply. And so that's what the funds go to create. We sort of fill the void that nobody else fills. And Chamber of Commerce is internationally known as a place to come for information if you don't know the answer. And so we'll get a lot of calls that we do turn over to a city or a county or one of the other municipal places in the area, the entities in the area.
And you know, as we would know, I mean, tourism brings in people, which brings in money. You know, they're there spending money, they're learning more about the region, but it helps with tax dollars and things like that as well, I would think.
Yes, that goes a long way to offset the taxes in the county. And the tourists, the ones that come and spend money and leave, we're very grateful for. But some of them come in and look around and go, wow, this would be a great place to retire. And so they wind up being retirees, which is also good for a community. Almost every county in the state of Tennessee is trying to attract retirees right now. And then every once in a while you'll get one that comes in and they own a business somewhere else and they decide to move there. I've been there for 4 years. We had one person bring their legal software business up from South Carolina because they like our outdoors. We had another one move a foundry to the county because they liked the outdoors. We've had, well, I guess a paradigm, the best paradigm, and this has been about 10 years ago, long before I got there, but Eric Jackson, the former Olympic kayaker, could have gone anywhere on the planet, and because of that whitewater, he came to Sparta, Tennessee. Well, he has since become one of our largest employers.
Yes.
And so tourism generates a whole lot more economic development than just the dollars they spend when they stop to get gas and sandwiches to go out on the trail.
That's right. Can you give us an update on the Herman project, how that's going as far as, we broke ground, I guess, back last year, but I'd say they're making some good progress now.
We have broke ground and the steel is going up and it's beginning to take shape as a building. And my understanding is that that could be sometime in 2019 or at the latest early 2020. that will be opening its doors, and that's going to be a wonderful employer for Sparta and White County.
Yeah, probably several hundred jobs, I would think, at least.
Yes, more than 200 jobs.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Marvin. We are going to have you stay here for just a little while. We've got more coming up about the Upper Cumberland, but we'll be right back after this short break.